Hello. Now, this study, which I'm entitling The Lesser Commission, is chiefly going to be about some places in John's Gospel, but as a preface, I'm going to read the very well-known Great Commission out of the end of Matthew's Gospel, Matthew 28 here. Now the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain to which Jesus had directed them. And when they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. And Jesus came and said to them, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always to the close of the age." This well-known passage coming from after Jesus' resurrection. But I've noticed that before then in the gospel history, there is something rather similar to that. Screen will go kind of blank for a few moments while I turn there to passages in John's Gospel. Just a moment. Okay, there. The Lesser Commission. There was a commissioning of the disciples to do something, an evangelistic campaign, if you will, that took place much earlier. I start reading in John 3:22. After this, Jesus and his disciples went into the land of Judea. There he remained with them and baptized. John also was baptizing at Ainon near Salim, because there was much water there. And people came and were baptized, for John had not yet been put in prison. And verse 25, 26, now a discussion arose between John's disciples and a Jew over purifying, and they came to John and said to him, "Rabbi, he who was with you beyond the Jordan, to whom you bore witness, here he is baptizing, and all are going to him." Now let's turn to something like at the beginning of chapter 4 here. Now when the Lord knew, verse 1, of course, now when the Lord knew that the Pharisees had heard that Jesus was making and baptizing more disciples than John, although Jesus himself did not baptize, but only his disciples. And the narrative goes on from there. There's a great deal of similarity between the Matthew 28 and the passages I have read out of John's Gospel. In both passages, the apostles baptize and make disciples. Jesus does not. The apostles do, or are commissioned to do. There are many such disciples, or there are going to be. In John 3 and 4, emphasis is laid on the fact that there were many of them who responded in this evangelistic campaign. In fact, more such than disciples that John the Baptist gathered. One might even regard John the Baptist's ministry of preaching and baptizing as the first prelude to the Great Commission in Matthew 28, perhaps a topic for later study in a video. But in Matthew 28, it is implied that there are going to be many disciples responding to that evangelistic campaign, because it is said, go and make disciples of all nations. And if they are of all nations, then why, surely there are going to be many of them from the various nations of the world. Well, that will do it for now. Till next time.